Well, fears of a potential government shutdown loom large once again as congressional gridlock shows no signs of loosening. Newly elected House Speaker Mike Johnson says he intends to avoid a shutdown that would start this upcoming Saturday. He unveiled a two-step temporary spending plan with deadlines to pass permanent department budgets dated in January and February. Johnson's bills are getting pushback from the far right because, like the stopgap bill that led to the historic ouster of former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, these bills don't include any spending cuts. That's a bit of the irony, right? Rachelle, after all of this, finally have a House Speaker in place. And by the way, what he's proposing is very similar to what former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy proposed as well. Let's kind of walk through what that looks like, though. First of all, we're talking about a two-step solution that means, number one, getting funding extended through January 19th. And that would be for military construction, Veterans Affairs, the Energy Department, among others. And then additional funding extended through for the other agencies, other programs in February. At the end of the day, there's still no real long-term solution in place, Rachelle. And by the way, Moody's already moving to downgrade outlook on U.S. credit rating from stable to negative. So, how do the markets react? We've seen from the past that they sort of stay on the sidelines and watch until something happens. And that something could happen several days from now.
It's true. I mean, it's a case of deja vu because, as you mentioned, same situation that Kevin McCarthy was in, and still going to need help from the Democrats to get this through, because even when you look at the deadlines, they're very close together, so there's not much difference there. And also not the spending cuts that a lot of the hard right were looking for. And even when we look at Moody's economic downgrade, the outlook to negative from stable, citing those growing fiscal deficits, higher interest rates, lack of effective fiscal policy measures, but also a lot of the political conflict, which is sort of this self-fulfilling prophecy here. And even when you think of the potential for the impact on Thanksgiving travel, you think of TSA employees, federal air traffic controllers, they're actually going to be getting their last paycheck, according to The Hill at least, right as the government shutdown would be happening. So you shouldn't have to worry about your travel, but something to worry about if this continues. We know in 2019, they started calling in sick after several weeks, and we really don't know what's going to happen at this point, especially with a new speaker on tap as well.
Yeah, that's an important point to note, Rachelle, when you think about the real life impact that could happen from any kind of delay in extending this funding, but certainly going to be watching.